Cell phone secrets. A recent survey suggests more than 70% of kids have tricks to hide their online habits. All this week on 10 TV, we are asking parents, how well do you know your children? Well enough to know what they're really doing online? 10 TV's Jeff Hogan did some digging. Jeff, for parents, you found that tracking what kids are doing with their cell phones can be a real challenge.
Huge challenge, just trying to keep up with them, Jessa, because I have almost a 10 and 11-year-old, and they know more about phones than I do.
They're always one step ahead of us.
Just like a lot of the teens. So if they want to hide something from you, there are tons of apps in which to do that. Plus, they'll have it gone before they get home from school if they really don't want you to see it, so it's tough to keep up.
So if you're one of those parents who say still has a flip phone and your child has an iPhone, where do you begin? What do you suggest?
Yeah, you're behind from the start, really,
right,
to be honest with you. But what you have to do is stay in touch with, if they have an Instagram, you get an Instagram. If they have a Twitter account, you get a Twitter account. And then you can kind of see, not stalking, not spying, you're just kind of following them and seeing what's going on out there with them. Some good parenting secrets that we learned with actually a family that we sat down with, which was very insightful. A gentleman with some young teenagers in there, and we saw how he handled it, and it was very interesting. His name was Scott Frisky, a 13-year-old girl, Madison, and a 15-year-old boy named Grant, and really he was candid about the limits that he sets and the parenting tips that you can glean from this type of thing, because you want to give them, the benefit of the doubt. You want to give them some trust and let them go off on their own, but even he was surprised by some of the things that he found out as well. You can take a listen.
Well, how could that person have known that this happened in Grant's life? Because they don't follow me, and I didn't know they were following Grant. Well, Grant didn't know they were following me either, because he's not private. So that's the light switch that goes on, and no harm was done in that conversation. Oh, I saw Grant, hurt his neck playing football. Mm-hmm. Well, no harm was done in that, but it makes you wonder if someone wanted to do harm with the information that we put out there all the time. It's a ticking time bomb. I mean, you have to stay on top of it.
Really, they're just a situation of being apprised of what is going on. Somebody saw something on an account that was out there, and Scott says, listen, you have to stay private. You cannot be public out there, because then you don't know who is following you. You don't know who's following your kids. We post pictures. We do it as adults. Sure. You post pictures on vacation. Oh, well, they're not home. And let's go check out their place and see what's going on.
Well, that's absolutely true.
If you wanted to use it for bad.
Sure. In the case he was referring to, that was a harmless situation, information that really couldn't have been used against him, but that's not always the case, and we need to be thinking about that.
Do you know where your kids are, who they're with at these certain times? Because other people do, and if you're alone, they could be following them and put them in bad situations if they wanted to use that for bad things that can happen.
Scary thought.
We have more on it.
All right, thank you. There is no shortage of ways that kids keep things hidden. To find out more about how kids are bypassing parents and keeping those cell phone secrets, tune in Monday night at 11 here on 10 TV or set your DVR. And all this week, we're asking you, how well do you know your kids? You can also count on us to cover everything from the birds and the bees to bullying, drinking, and drugs. Special reports begin Monday at 6 a.m. here on 10 TV.